There was also a thing, Dan and I started talking about this just after we make it 1-0, where I reckon we thought it's probably just about when Arsenal were coming back out for the second half.
Yeah.
And if you're them as well at that stage, where you probably have that quick, final little ask to your one of the assistants, what's the score there, and you get that through then. I mean, there's only so many blows they can take psychologically now, and Liverpool just, handing them out like they're nothing.
Well, just with them, we'll go through the game, the way in which it plays out for Liverpool. 2 midfielders score, and both of them play ever so well.
I think they're the 2 best players on the park.
Yeah, so they get the 2 goals, and I thought both of them were the absolute business. And Fuad's right to praise, because I thought played really well. Gimenez and Tonali, I thought they played really, really well. I thought it was a good game of football.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I think it'll be a really good League Cup final. Yeah. I think the League Cup final is going to be a hard day for Liverpool, I genuinely do. You could see some of their quality and some of their threat during this, but you could also see, Phil, how much they ceded to us. There was a big thing, I thought, with them where they knew what Liverpool were good at. They knew when to leave us to it. They were trying to sit off us. They were trying to be clever. They were trying to pick the moments. They just weren't able to live with us. And those 2 midfielders were exceptional.
Yeah, I think they're live. They were exceptional, but I think one thing Newcastle did, and it didn't really work, is they were too focused on Gravenberch, I thought.
Yeah,
There was one point where I was talking to my dad about it was right in front of where we sit, and it was he's like, Gravenberch's being quite right. I'm like, look what they're doing. They had 4 men in a box around him. Yeah. You can't put 4 men in a box around any one of these Liverpool players and expect the other 2 to not damage you. And that's what happens today. Like, you look at both goals. The first goal, McAllister carries the ball an extraordinary amount of distance without having any pressure on him.
Yeah.
He's running with it. He's not even sprinting. He's sort of jogging with it, with his head up, looking to see what he's able to do. And he sets us off on the attack, and we score the goal. The second one, he wins the ball back, and again moves forward at not particularly great pace. The ball goes out wide to Salah, it comes back in, and that's how that goal comes about. That's the thing I thought they did a bit wrong, is that I thought they were focused far too much on him and made life much easier for them. I think you can sort of see with a lot of their players how they're good for Newcastle, but I just don't think they get near this Liverpool team. There was one in the first half where Gimenez tries to chase Konate, and it looked like someone pulling a parachute.
Yeah.
And it was like I can see you're good, but I can see how that's your level. That sounds like a semi-patronising way, and it's not, because they're exceptional footballers. It's just that the team that they're up against is a level or maybe even 2 above them. And it says a lot about what happens when you take one Liverpool player out of the game. There's 2 or 3 or 4 who can hurt you instead. The performance from us today was exceptional because they were good. They're not a bad team who turned up and were just, these are better than us, we'll try and sit in front of our box, limit them and see what up. They had a bit of a go, which is sort of how they came undone for the first one.
You can see that work if they had Isak, couldn't you? In some ways.
Yeah. Wilson has that chance at 1-0.
Yeah, exactly, and that makes a huge difference. Liverpool do get lucky in that sense with that. But Phil's totally right. I think the midfield and how intelligent they are in everything they do. It's not just the the technical quality that we know they all have individually. It's how when Szoboszlai looked like maybe he needed a little bit of a breather, McAllister was straight in, and they all sort of covered each other so well in that regard. And
it
works. They do not stop, and you can. We talk about the 2 centre halves being impenetrable and being amazing. A lot of that is because everything is kind of just boxed in front of them, and the stuff that they have to deal with in the end, it's not runs that have come off the back of our midfielders and they're having to move into places they don't want to be. It's the sort of meat and grind of heading things away and little interceptions. That's because everything in front of them is working so smoothly. And how many years has it been that we cried out for goals from midfield? I mean, you got them today, didn't you? And you saw kind of the technical superiority of Liverpool's midfield, best in the country by far.